am I out here in a t-shirt? So, yesterday I talked a little bit about the events that transpired yesterday. I'm assuming a lot of people that turned the video on probably didn't make it too far into it because they saw my opening title, then they see me sitting in a windowless room in my pajama pants, and were like, who the fuck is this guy? And probably turned it off. But I talked about the events of yesterday, specifically the video or videos that are going viral all over the place of this group of young teenagers, a majority of which are wearing Make America Great Again paraphernalia, and this confrontation they had with a group of Native Americans. And I had someone come onto my video and I think tried to imply that I was making it like, well, what it gets down to is they were saying that the Native American approached them first. Like, he went at them, and therefore the Make America Great Again teens were justified in being reactive. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, I've seen just about every video on the thing, and I see, you know, the particular man in question. I'm sorry, his full name escapes me, but Nathan, I want to say his name is Nathan Phillips. I'm sorry, for some reason it's just not in there. It's Nathan. But the main Native American gentleman that had face-off with this young Make America Great Again teen. And yeah, he like steps closer to him, but it's not like he runs at him. And it's like, you know, it's one of those things where they're like, well, he approached the teen, he was the one being confrontational. I'm like, are you kidding? You're a member of you're a Native American who has been getting screwed sideways in a country that he lived in long before people like me did. And the shit just keeps happening, and it's unprovoked, because in my experience, any encounters I've had with anybody who are Native American, it's always been a pleasure experience. It's when you encounter, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be hateful towards myself, but it's always freaking white people. They're just always so pissy and angry about everything. And I'm like, you know, if this gentleman was so confrontational towards his teenager, why was he able to stand there and remain so stoic while him and his little punk-ass friends were standing there being I mean, you can say what you want. If you are a dumb teenager with a dumb face, sorry, it's my opinion of the kid, and you're standing there just going, so, you know, anyone could say, you know, that's not confrontational. He was just standing there. I don't understand why you're saying it's confrontational. When you're standing there with your buddies egging you on, and you're right there smirking at a gentleman who's probably experienced more hate and pain than you could experience in 15 lifetimes, even with the shit he's getting now. And for the record, while on that subject, I'm annoyed and I'm pissed with this kid as much as anybody else. But, you know, I referenced how, you know, because this guy's probably going to be put on blast, so to speak, you know, he's probably, you know, it would not surprise me if he gets death threats from some people, and that's the shit that does not need to happen. I am fully in support of people going online and roasting him and saying, hey kid, this isn't cool, because maybe if enough people do it, he'll wake the hell up, alright? But I don't want this kid getting beaten up on the street. I don't want this guy, you know, ending up like the guy that caught the ball that wasn't a foul ball at the Chicago Cubs game a few years back that cost him a pennant, and he was getting death threats forever. And I saw on Facebook people like spreading information about the school he goes to right now, which I'm fine with, because a lot of these kids went to that school, so obviously something needs to be addressed there. But apparently he's planning on going to college. I think he's going to, like, he wants to, you know, study the culinary arts, which, I mean, good for him. And people are starting to, like, spread that information, like they're trying to contact the college and just have him, I don't know, it seems like it's a pretty nefarious intent, like they want to show, hey, look, this is the kind of kid you want going to your college. And I'm like, you don't solve ignorance by preventing someone the opportunity to achieve an education. I understand we're pissed. I understand there's a lot of us that want to go to college and can't afford it, and maybe this kid is lucky in that vein, and so we're pissed. Why should an asshole like that get to go to school? But how is this guy going to better himself in adulthood if just from this point on, because of this one incident that I know we're all pissed about. I'm pissed about it too. But does this young man and those who are like him, or at least those who think like them, how are they going to have any chance of getting better if their life is just stilted from this point on, and they're blocked from going to this college, and all of a sudden it's like he gets blacklisted, and he ends up going another direction. He ends up becoming, I don't know, friggin' crackhead? Who knows? So, I'm sorry, you don't ruin this guy's life over a stare, but I think roasting him, I mean, I'm sorry, he set himself up to be open season for that. You know, and I'm sure he was standing there staring that Native American gentleman in the face, and his buddies were egging him on, and he was again thinking, I'm going to be the coolest shit in town. And that's the kind of thing that needs to be quashed. He needs to realize, no, at the end of the day, no. That is not how society as a whole is going to receive you. And sure, a bunch of Make America Great people are going to side on you just because you're obviously in leagues with them, and when it comes to politics, people just defend people that are in the same party as them without a second thought most of the time. And we wonder why we can't get new political parties, because everyone just falls in line with Republicans or Democrats, or whichever one they're kind of closer to. I'm pretty liberal thinking, so I guess I'm a Democrat. You know, that's the way so many people think nowadays. So, and you know, and I just saw that according to an article I just read, and you know, a few other sources, this young man who is, you know, prominently photographed having this stare down, this Native American gentleman, apparently one of his parents, I think it was his mother, said that what brought that on was his group was being shouted down and threatened by a group of black Muslims, which I haven't seen any pictures or video to verify this. I find it a little bit suspicious that you have this group of kids that are part of this Make America Great Again coalition, so you wonder, you know, what their parents must be like. And then, you know, conveniently, these conservative-leaning people, it's getting blamed on black militants. Now, maybe there's a lot of validity to that. Apparently, in some of the video, they've pointed out, you know, disrespectful comments that were made towards this group of teens from people. But from what I read, it's not that bad. You know, one of the things I read was someone called them, you know, a bunch of idiot crackers. It seemed like half the comments that people, it was literally described as abusive towards these white teens, were comments that included the term cracker in it. And I'm like, I remember being 12. And this guy's daughter, he was an African-American gentleman, she was an African-American girl, and again, I'm like 11, 12 years old, like I'm younger than these kids are, and I was at a store, and she was like checking me out, like she thought I was cute, and her father said something to the effect of, like, he just saw her looking at me and was like, no, honey, you don't want to mess around with no dumbass cracker. And I heard him say that about me when I was 12 years old, or 11, 12, somewhere in there, you know, sixth grade-ish. And it made me chuckle. Okay, I'm sorry. Being a white person and getting called a cracker is not that big of a deal. Even if somebody is calling you that in a very angry and aggressive and disrespectful manner. If we're going to put cracker on the same level as hardcore racial slurs, that is a very misguided problem. And I'm not laughing to be disrespectful, I'm laughing because it's such a stupid comparison. That's the thing, is white people can get called cracker left and right, and those of us that have hopefully somewhat of a level head on our shoulders are going to laugh it off or be like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not the same thing when you use hardcore racial slurs against people who are non-white. There's a complete difference there. It is taking offense when white people use terminology like that because there's completely different circumstances going on here. And like, I get, you know, when you talk about different circumstances between white people and people who aren't white, apparently one of the comments made to this group of MAGA teens, all white kids, was something to the effect of like, go back to where you came from, this isn't your land. Now, I don't know if this was supposedly a black Muslim said this. I'd use this because I don't know exactly who said it, or maybe it was a member of the Native American Coalition. If it's a member of the Native American Coalition, well, they have a point. I love it when white people get told stuff like that, go back to where you came from, and they're like, Wait, what? It's just so stupid. It's like, and when Native Americans said that, yeah, most white people moved here, or ancestors to people from Europe who came here after Native Americans were here. That's kind of basically known history, or at least I wish it was to some people. You know, it's one thing, white people relocated and settled in America, so you can actively say, go back to where you came from, and there's at least a modicum of historical accuracy there. Whereas, it's hilarious when you hear white people tell black people, go back to where you came from. And it's like, well, a lot of the black people that first came to America were forced to come here. It's not like they just relocated on their own, so make up your mind, white folks. I don't know. The whole thing is just, I mean, it's aggravating, it's frustrating. I've been thinking about it a lot since it's happened, and just thinking about the frustration. And like, in a scenario like that, I'm sorry, the Native American gentleman has, in my opinion, the right to be a little confrontational. All right, he wasn't physically or verbally abusive towards these teens, so can we not act like he was doing something so horrible while this dumbass white kid was standing there disrespecting him right to his face by staring at him with that dumb white guy look? It's just that I don't understand. I do, and I don't. It's just so frustrating. God, I don't. So that's what's going on now, in this whole freaking scenario, and I'm freezing cold. I need to go back inside, but I did a video yesterday. I was looking at more stuff today, and it just gets, like anything else, the more and more you look at something that's already bothering you, it starts to bother you more. And I know it's really hard, and I know it doesn't happen that often, but I just wish, at the end of the day, these are the kind of events where people can look at it and see them for what they really are. And it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen enough. I know everybody hates having to admit when they're wrong. I hate it too. I do it, and I'm still angry, but then I get past it because I realize, in the end, I did the right thing. And we're just really scatterbrained right now, and it's frustrating. If there's anything positive to take away from events like this, is we see once again how messed up one side is. This isn't just a disagreement to agree. This isn't just two opposite sides of an extreme situation. There's an obvious, one side is obviously much more messed up than the other when you're literally approaching, and being confrontational and disrespectful to people who did absolutely nothing to you, to whom your people, the white people, have been disrespectful, violent, and genocidal. I don't think that's a term, but it fit in my sentence, so I'm just going to say it. Since white people settled here. So, I really don't know what else to say. I mean, what more is to say? It's just a lot of people in this country are just a damn joke. That's really all there is to it. Anyway, see you guys later.